12 times. The same package has arrived at our front door 12 times in as many days. On day one, I assumed it was my wife who had ordered it. Oh, she insisted it must have been me. On day two, I was sure she was playing some kind of prank on me or something. Didn't you say that you took this back to the post office? I asked her. Well, yes, I swear I did, she insisted. Now, on day five, we made a little game of it. I'll take care of breakfast and you watch for the peephole, okay? Deal. After a few minutes, I'd finished making omelets. Anything yet? Nope. Not a single delivery van or mail truck. I opened the door expecting nothing to be there. I had thought that I would sit on the porch maybe and eat my breakfast, but as always, there was. It was a simple cardboard box, not any bigger than a foot square and a half as tall. It only weighed about a pound. And the only markings on the outside of it was the standard USPS postal shipping label, a sticker claiming that it was fragile. There was no return address or any kind of product listing on it or anything. The only peculiar thing about it was that there were several small holes at the top of the box. The holes are too small to see into, and no distinguishable smells or sounds escape from either. I don't know, you may be wondering why we haven't opened it. Well, that's a valid question, but it's not as simple as it sounds. At first we simply assumed that it was a misunderstanding and returned it. We did this 3 times before becoming overly suspicious. Well, after that, we assumed it had to be some kind of malicious thing. I've heard too many stories of packages containing bombs and the like, to trust some mysterious package, let alone one that has now entered my home 12 times without only the slightest hint of reason. Hey, hon, I have an idea, I said to my wife. Yes, dear? Why don't we just leave it there? Where? On the porch. I paused for a moment, considering it. I hadn't thought of that. We tried taking it back, throwing it out with the trash, even setting it on fire, and it didn't catch fire. It didn't even char it one little bit. And every time we put it in the trash, or someone else's trash, it wouldn't be there the next day. Instead, it would be right there first thing in the morning, like clockwork, on the front porch to the right of the welcome mat. We had just never left it alone, never touched it. Tomorrow. 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 If it's there again, I'm gonna leave it there. And with that, I walked to the entryway and put on my shoes, and I walked out front with the package and I placed it on the driveway about halfway down. I got into my truck and I put it into reverse. Let's see you come back from this. And I floored it backward, running straight over the package with the back left tire. Not only did it not become flattened by my truck, but it actually caused the tire to bounce off wildly, sending the truck careening wildly to the right. Holy shit! Deciding to take the hint, I drove the truck back into the garage and I closed the door and I just went to bed. The next morning, sure enough, there it was. Well, it sure is nice there's no packages at the door, right, honey? I asked, motioning with my hand across my throat to tell her to just play along. Oh, yeah, right, yeah, sure is. She shrugged and mouthed, what? I walked over to the small pad of paper and pen that we kept by the phone. I think that we should just ignore it, I wrote. She took the pen away from me. Oh, I see, it's worth a try anyway, she wrote beneath my note. For the next 7 days, we ignored the package. We even stopped using the front door entirely so as not to so much as look at the darn thing. It was nice, actually. I almost forgot about it entirely. However, that night, it visited me in my dream. I dreamt that I was a mailman, working in the room that sorts all the incoming packages. At first it was a normal dream, then every single package started to look like that package. Hey, isn't it weird that every package is the same? I asked my coworker. What? Oh, that always happens. What? No, no, look, it's weird. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's always like that. I turned to confront my coworker, only to find that they'd been replaced by a stack of the same package, only with a sinister smile and vacant eyes. Open me! No, I don't want to. Just leave me alone. But you want to open me? It smiled, wide and teethly. I know you do. No, no you don't. You're wrong. And I woke up. I was standing to the front of my door, grasping the handle tightly. My knuckles, they were white from the strain. What are you doing? My wife asked from behind me, startling me. Oh, 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 it's you. I thought that you might be a package. Don't be silly, dear. Now come on back up to bed. Oh, okay. When I turned around, I did not see my wife. Instead, I saw the package laying in the light of the living room lamp. It had the face of my wife. She was smiling wider and toothier. Oh, it's okay. I think I need some fresh air. I turned and I opened the front door, but it, I don't know, the package was there. No! I ran through the house looking for a rubber band and I snapped it against my arm trying to shock myself out of this dream I was having. I jolted awake, covered in a cold sweat, and I looked over and I saw that my wife was sleeping next to me. Everything was fine. It was just a dream. It was just a dream. Just a dream, I whispered to myself. I lay back down, but I couldn't fall back to sleep no matter how hard I tried. An hour passed, and then two, and I made up my mind just to teach that package a lesson. I grabbed my shotgun from the safe, and then I walked to the front door and I paused for just a moment before opening it, steeling myself. This time, it's gonna end. I threw open the door and I aimed the shotgun at the package and froze. It was different. I tried to convince myself to pull the trigger, but something felt off. That's when I realized There were no holes at the top of the box like there had always been. What the hell? I aimed the shotgun again. Who cares? You won't get the better of me. I fired. The box was surprisingly undamaged. However, the small holes in the top were back. Wait! But, wait, that... It was then that I did something I swore that I would never do. I grabbed my knife from my belt, switched open the blade, and I sliced the tape. I set down the knife and I took a deep breath, and I opened the box. Oh my God, you've gotta freaking be kidding me! It was empty. It was a cardboard box filled with air. Small pieces of shrapnel from my gun. This doesn't make any sense! What is going on? What? My wife emerged from behind me. What is going on out here? I'm sorry, I just thought that, I don't know. You shot the, you opened that box? I just couldn't take it anymore. It was haunting my dreams just now. I threw up my hands in exasperation, but it doesn't matter anyway. It was empty. It's always been empty, I guess. That makes no sense. It wasn't heavy, but it didn't weigh nothing. You're right, but look. Look. Yes, I see it's empty, but it also makes no sense. We both sat there for a moment, staring at the open box in front of us. The only sounds were of a party down the street and a distant siren. So, what now? No response. I turned to look at my wife, and what I saw made my blood run cold. My wife was no longer standing right next to me. Instead, she was several feet away from me, dimly illuminated by the one lamp that was on in the living room, and she was not standing, she was floating. Honey, can you hear me? I stood up and slowly walked toward her, the shotgun clattering to the ground from my trembling hands. Thank you for letting me out. I was starting to think I was never going to get out of that accursed box, she replied, but it wasn't her voice. Well, you're welcome, I replied, my voice shaking a bit. But I will require more. More? More flesh. I started to back up, but the door had slammed closed, and I tried to open it, but it was locked and the lock wouldn't turn. I spun back around and she was gone, and I could hear soft laughter coming from the hallway. Please, just leave us alone, I pleaded. My heart was beating so fast that I felt that it would just leave my chest, and I picked up the shotgun and I walked slowly towards the hallway, and I turned the corner and I aimed the gun. You wouldn't shoot your wife now, would you? I pulled the trigger. Well, I tried, but I couldn't. My hands, they wouldn't move. I couldn't turn to run. I was frozen in place, staring at the face of my wife, knowing it wasn't her. Take me, I conceded. At least I'll be with her. A wild, wide smile slowly broke across her face, stretching the skin around her mouth to an unnatural degree. As you wish. I closed my eyes for a moment, and I felt oppressively hot, and then just as cold, and then nothing at all, and only my thought was about my wife. My wife!